What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Today's guest is a gentleman that actually reached out to me a couple months back. Very humble, dope artist that I saw on social media reached out to me. I had invited anybody who wanted to come on that platform, and he reached out and was like, "Hey, I would love to be on your show," which is very flattering for me because, like, and I was telling him offline, I don't, I got like, a couple followers and I value all of them, but just to see it, the time that he has coming on my show is really an honor to me to have him on the show, right? So, without further ado, he goes by the name of Mark Saunders.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Welcome
sir.
to the show, my brother.
Thank
Tell
you,
the
brother.
people who you are, what's up, what's up.
Yeah. So I go by the name Mark Saunders, coming straight out of the motherfucking Bronx. And if y'all didn't know, it's the mecca of hip hop. I am a hip hop artist as well. I like to consider myself a entrepreneur. I've heard of Madrid, fucked with his work for probably a year now, and that's when I reached out. So not a couple of months, but about a year ago, where I first started performing outreach and just reaching out to platforms that I really fucked with. And his platform just really connected on a high level of just quality. So I'm glad we're finally doing this.
Sure, man. Much respect to you, and then thank you, man. Thank you for reaching out and for also just being patient. And I know you have so much going on. Recently dropped the album, which is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Before we get into all that,
Yep.
a question that I like to ask all my guests
Yeah.
early on, so we can establish so people know exactly who you are. Um, who is Mark Saunders?
I'm really a minority trying to figure this shit out in America. Without going too deep into logistics, I'm an everyday nigga trying to figure it out and break through the status quo. By all means necessary, right? I'm doing something that's saturated and people think is impossible. But I don't think that, bro, at all. I think if you could persist in any field, you can make shit happen. And I deem myself no different in that saying. Uh, so in a nutshell, I'm an everyday nigga trying to make shit happen who eventually will make it happen.
Mm. I love the confidence. And need even going into this pod, like the conversation that we had leading up to this, is the way you're thinking already. Like it's just a matter of time, right?
Yeah.
That's all it really is. Because if you put in the work, you have faith in yourself. One of my models is fuck with yourself heavy.
Oh, here we go.
Have that belief and that confidence full. I for sure. I feel it in your voice and listening to your music, the style. It's just different, right? That's the number
I
one thing
appreciate
that
that.
sticks out to me the most about your music and what you're offering. The flow is very versatile, and just me knowing that like a little bit of time that I try to pursue hip hop, everything that goes into it and to seeing what you're doing, how you're moving,
Yeah,
you're repping your album right behind you right there, which is super
exactly.
dope. Um,
Absolutely.
let's talk about real quick.
Yeah,
So
man.
growing up, what influenced you into the life of being a hip hop artist or an artist, period?
The thing is, growing up, it's all subconscious at first, right? You're just a kid in the hood having fun because you don't really realize poverty's poverty until you get older. And then you go, oh shit, niggas ain't living like us. We actually struggling. People are eating every day. Oh shit, I thought that was just only on TV, right? And after you start evolving, growing up, I had enough male figures who I followed after, whether good or bad. And my brother was super into hip hop. And I'll never forget it. The first album I recall seeing was the Get Rich or Die Trying album cover. He brought it home after going to a consignment shop, came to the crib. I just remember seeing a bullet hole, a red cover, and this guy just would have fitted on. And my brother, being that he was a teenager, he was impressionable. So his favorite artist was 50 Cent. So that's all we was bumping. Get Rich or Die Trying top to bottom. That's one of my most vivid memories of my first time really embracing hip hop and enjoying it outside of subconsciously. And then from there, just curiosity built until I started, which was in my early teens.
When did you start rapping and how old were you?
Damn. I started rapping when I was about 12 or 13, the summer before I went into high school. But as I was transitioning there, I just gave it a go. I was bumping Lil Wayne, The Drought 3, and I just got really inspired and just started fucking spitting shit. during
And
that
so,
time.
so you think that's the album that did it for you, where you were like, I want to fuck around and start putting words together and seeing what's up?
Now, I think I was just bored, actually, right? Because you only know what your reference, you only do what your references are. So if you see people becoming doctors, you may become a doctor. I didn't really see much. I just recall going to summer school or something like that on the bus, listening to the music, and something instinctively telling me try to create your own lyrics. So it was no inspiration at the time. It was really just some shit like let me fuck around during the time and just burn time as I'm traveling.
Gotcha. And
Uh,
what attracted you to continue to write? Because one thing is like, it's almost like horrible comparison that I'm gonna say anyways. Like
yeah, go for it.
like cigarettes. Like the first time you smoke a cigarette and then you're at that age, or even what mom dukes or your pops doesn't know what you're doing.
Yeah,
So I drive, pick it
yeah,
up and like, oh, it's not for me. Or this is my this. So like
yeah,
with
yeah.
hip hop, with writing, um, what prompted you to continue on the path of like, let's say like, all right, I have to do this. I'm really good
Yeah.
at this.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do for a living.
So growing up, I always was good in writing and literacy and reading and just words was my thing growing up. And I used to actually do poetry, spoken word as a early child. So that writing aspect was always there. So when I started rapping, I just fused what I did growing up from maybe 4 to 7 into this hip hop forum and me doing it every day because that eventually trickled into me traveling to school via MTA bus, excuse me, and doing it so consistently, bro. I eventually started cutting school my senior year and taking the bus from the first stop, which is Casuliro, to the last stop and then back. And next thing I know, I had pages and pages of lyrics. And I slowly started just falling in love with the process of expressing myself, but in a whole different outlet where people express themselves via clothing, via painting, but this way you can actually hear what it is I'm feeling and thinking at the same time. And I just fell in love with that process.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think and I'm a piggyback on that too. Like in remembering when I fell in love with hip hop, and not just fall in love with hip hop, but the writing aspect of it
Yeah.
is the wordplay. Like I'm big on being witty and like
Yeah.
you got the metaphors, which is dope, but just like the wittiness, the double entendres,
Hmm.
the way that you can spin a story, put a story together, is
Yeah.
oh shit, that was tight. You know what I mean? And
And
I think that's an amazing part of the art.
and that's something that came later down the line when I said to myself, I want to devote the rest of my life to this craft. I started learning those literary devices and homophones and double entendres. But in the very beginning, it was all natural. Maybe everything I consumed from that point before was how I was writing naturally. So metaphors were just flowing, right? Because I listened to Eminem and Wayne and maybe Lloyd Banks here and there. So I'm just flowing from what I have consumed. Uh, so at that time, it was just me, just free of thought, train of thoughts. And then that just bled into me really caring. Similar to you and your setup, bro. I could tell you care about podcasting, interviewing, being this outlet because of the design and the pristine in the way it looks. And the
Thank you.
way, yeah, and the way this looks, your whole setup is how much I care about hip hop as a craft, right? And how I try to present it as well. So yeah.
Yeah, man, that's one thing. And then going into that too, like the way the respect that I have for you also is just seeing this project demographic too that you put together, right? You know, we can go back to like first parts or they launched like that, if it's the mixtape, whatever it may have been.
Sure.
Um, but just in the quality, the care, like the delicacy of everything that you did for this project. Like, can you talk a little bit about that journey of
Yeah.
maybe we're skipping too far into the future, but I just think it's so dope because and you complimenting the way you see here, and it just
Yeah.
makes me feel like I gotta compliment the dope shit that you did, right? Even
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
put it together vinyls where you were like, I have a vinyl you could order and you could be the first to
Man.
get the strategy, the marketing, like And
Yeah.
and going back to what you were saying, like I always say, like, um, I was big on pop that, my generation is way. I'm assuming I'm much older than you are, right? Doesn't matter though, we feel the music. But like, in being from the ghetto, bro, like I that resonates with me because like
Oh yeah.
coming from very little to nothing, right? Not
Yeah.
saying I was starving, there was no missed meals, but there was the welfare system, all these different things. So to be able to be in a place where it's like seeing further than what your surroundings is, right? And obviously you're somebody who sees that because you're like, yo, um, I may be on this block, but my thoughts are like around the
So
world.
much larger. Yeah.
Yeah, and the things that I'm trying to do and achieve, like you thought outside of, I never thought about that, like vinyl, the marketing of it, and then we like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, my album launches on this day, but
Yep.
you could order it a little sooner. There you go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
about that process and what led you to think in to that degree, because like
Yeah.
I don't know who else has done it that way, but it's the first time that I saw somebody do it, and like
Yeah.
how serious you were about the whole
Yeah.
process.
Uh, well, everything was kind of a transitional stage for me because that's around the time I got fired and all of these things were changing in my life. And it felt like I had to face them head on. And the one thing I had to face to keep it a being is how much I wanted to take rap serious. But maybe I was neglecting that because of whatever the reason is, personal lives, working, excuse of being tired, whatever. I finally got the opportunity to take all the information that I honed in from whether it's your clips or earn your leisure, just the whole scope of info when it comes to taking your craft from square one to the next level. I was able to apply it now with very, very minimum budget, right? Because I got released from my job. So I essentially evened out profit wise, but what it did was give my brand more awareness across the whole social media platform. And that was my mission. I was willing to go negative or even, either or, for the sake of spreading more awareness of who Mark Saunders is by all means.
Yeah,
So I put that forward, including the packaging of the vinyl, the posters. I had other ideas, but I couldn't stretch my bandwidth that far. But the vinyl and posters was just a way to put myself out there a little bit more and give people who and to give people who genuinely fuck with me something tangible to grab onto besides streaming a song.
yeah, yeah. And I think that and I'm assuming you know this, right? Like you that's what I think you evolved from just being a regular artist or hip hop artist to like artist, period, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes we categorize hip hop artists as just what they are. Not what
Mm-hmm.
there's so much more. You're a businessman at this point. Like you do
Mm-hmm.
marketing, you put these ideas together. That these are all things that you can apply to any aspect of your life, right? You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So that was a little transit. Not a little. I hate that word. That was a transition that you did, bro. Like a huge transition that you did in front of the world, right?
Yeah.
For all followers to see, and even the
Thank you, bro.
inspiration that you may have given other people. I don't know if you've noticed that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
if you noticed what you did, bro, and you did it.
Yeah, I feel like it's still happening, right? But as I was doing it, immediately I started getting DMs. Yo, bro, what you're doing is really, really motivating me. I got released from my job because the market is shit right now, bro. So if I'm going through it, best believe everybody, not everybody, but there's other people out there who's going through similar situations. But maybe they're processing it different from me. And if I didn't have music, maybe I'll be processing it like them. So I can't blame nobody for maybe being down and out. Uh, but I definitely seen my actions encouraging other people. And that essentially that was the agenda, right? Like, hey, let me push this out there. Because in the beginning, when I first got fired, I was putting myself on camera. And for me, it was a level of overexposure. I was kind of embarrassed to it. I was all new to it at the same time. It wasn't like prior to that, I was on the camera often. I wasn't. But I knew that was dire and needed. So when I did it, people, uh, it resonated with them, and their response only motivated me to keep on fucking going by all means.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the dope part about being an artist and seeing that vulnerability. Like, at one point I was pursuing acting and just, they used to tell us like, get used to this, right? And this is like when you're carrying the train as a winger,
Okay.
right? There's a lot of hustle that goes behind it that people don't see.
Yeah.
And for you to give us that insight of, I lost my motherfucking job, dog. Like,
Hell
this
yeah,
is how
bro.
I eat. And I'm still pushing,
Yeah.
it's almost like, should I eat this meal or should I put some money aside, have a couple noodles,
Absolutely.
and I could push out this project type shit.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's what's dope about the vulnerability and the realness because, and I'll give you an example, but like on social media, everything is happy, everything is dandy. Like, no, I almost see it seems like nobody's going through a rough time.
It's crazy.
So to see that, like to see, and again, inspiring, bro. And I hope
Mm.
anybody views this and the people that do view it see that the hustle is real. Like, a man is over here, lost his job and still pushing, still motivated. Not to say, and I'm not sure you can validate this or not, like we still have doubts, right? And that's what
Yeah,
I
bro.
say, like
Validate that. Hell yeah.
we
Tons of
constantly,
doubts.
like the doubts are there, and that's why a lot of times I talk about like picking each other up. Like, you never
Yeah.
know what somebody's going through, and you say some dumb shit to push the person, like to kick them down when it's down. It was like,
Man.
help brother out, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Continue, please. Keep on.
I don't know. I'm just thinking about that because I'm like, the vulnerability in that to show it. That's
Yeah.
the easiest thing for somebody to say, yo, you sure you want but though. And I'll tell you about, there was a time I was doing a business and a boy of mine, he's like family.
Yeah.
We were out doing something and it just seemed like we were never gonna finish. Like, I took on, had a little business, and I took on more than I could chew.
Okay.
But the tenacity, the drive that I have, like I'm like, I could do anything. Right.
Yeah, bro.
And what I told him is, like, yo, dog, check this out, bro. This is the marathon, right? All I need you to do is hand me a cup of water and give me a patent filled and say, keep going, Madrid. That's
Indeed.
it.
Yeah.
I don't need my boy to tell me, like, yo, we 5 miles in and we got 20 more. Like, yo,
Nah,
what
bro.
it's not gonna do for me. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That's our, like, like we got to push each other forward. Same thing. There was this singer, a Dominican merengue singer that died a few months ago in a tragic accident in DR where the roof caved in.
Oh,
There was
yeah.
this podcasting. Yeah, it was sad, bro.
I know
It was
exactly what
super
you're talking
sad.
about.
Yeah. So like I love interviews, right? I never knew that until a friend of mine told me that you should podcast. And
Oh, shit. Okay.
so I really enjoy interviews. So I started like diving into all this guy's videos and seeing, like, feeling him out, like seeing him, what type of person he was behind the music, right?
Yeah.
That's what interests me about you. So this is a full circle moment.
Okay.
So he was talking to this podcaster who's now like a famous podcaster in the Latino world, right?
Got
And
it.
he asked him, he's like, yo, when you met me like 2-3 years ago, um, why did you give me a shot? And
Mm.
why did you like dig me out? Why did you like push me forward? He's
Mhm.
like, because who knows that what I would have said would have stopped your journey and you would never be here. He's like, my job is to push everybody, like, talent forward, like
Mhm.
to inspire other people. And I think, um, again, coming back to what you did, it inspired me to see what you were going through, and the struggle is real, and still be consistent and showing that, like, that is so dope, bro. Like, I
Thank you,
just,
bro.
I can't stress that enough, and I admire that. It's very admirable to just be in it, and
Man, one of the words you said that stuck with me is doubt, right? That shit is a big ass word and it's impactful. On my shirt, it says forever doubt it on the shirt. This is a mantra that I've been pushing since I was maybe 15. All right. So like well over 10 years now. And it's something that's inevitable. No matter how high you grow, no matter what room you get in, there'll be someone who doubts you. Right. But if you fully believe in yourself and your vision, that's something you could overcome. One thing that sticks with me forever is, bro, my best friend. I remember by this time, I was already fully immersed and I'm gonna become a rapper, but I haven't told nobody. So of course you tell the person closest to you. I tell my best friend, hey, I have 16 concepts of projects here. Here are the names. These are the concepts. I want to release my first EP. It's going to be called Blank Canvas EP. This is going to be the concept. This is going to be the cover, everything, the whole slew. He goes, nah, that's trash. This is my this is my best friend, right? So I don't take no offense to it. Because you also want a contrarian in your circle. You do want that. You don't want everyone to agree with you, but what matters is your own confidence within yourself. So what I did within that was it's all about how you respond. When he said that, I remember telling him, bro, yo, bro, I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm gonna still do it. I'm just telling, yeah, I swear to God. I swear to God. I go, yo, bro, I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm just telling you because I'm so excited. I just want to get it out to somebody. So I figured, let me just tell my closest homie, right? Fast forward, I put it out. It does extremely well on SoundCloud, which is what I was exclusively on. Then he goes, yo, Mark, you know what? I actually like the concept, but
Get it, yeah.
it's a
Get the fuck out of here.
it's but what the shit is, bro, is sometimes people don't see the vision or the blueprint until it's fully laid out and developed in front of them. Then they go, you know what? Now I see the vision, but it's on you as the creative. And in your case, right, when you create a product, I'm the consumer, you're the curator. As the curator, it's just on you to fully believe in your idea and flush it out, right? So that's always my message to everyone, including myself, every day. If you have an idea and you fully flush that shit out, bet on it 10 times out of 10. And that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And to piggyback on that too, like what's dope about what you're saying too is, and then there's something in doing this podcast episode. I haven't done a podcast episode since January, February, right?
Yeah.
And it's
There we
always
go.
it's like hip hop, bro. Like when you don't write for a little bit, but that shit is just chilling. Like you're taking a shower, you're like fuck, I'm there,
Yeah.
maybe you're on the train and whatever. Like
All right.
so it's the same thing for me here with the podcasting world. Like I believe that I'm great at what I do, and I'm only gonna be greater, right? Same thing with you. Like you're only
Right
gonna
on.
get better, bro. Like if you're great,
For
you're only
sure.
gonna be greater.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
But that belief system, and that's why I talk
Yeah.
about like like somebody said this one time, and it stuck to me. Like fuck with yourself heavy. Like you have to be, and I said this in other podcasts. Like you have to be your own champion. Like
Absolutely.
your belief in yourself has to be through the roof, and that's why I forget who is it that hip hop artist that they always say like don't mistake my confidence for arrogance, right?
Okay.
And there's like like a lot of people don't have that. Like the normal
Yeah.
Joe Schmo does not believe in themselves. You tell big dreams to small minded people, what do you expect, right? And it's those
And
closest to you too.
yeah. And sometimes the the thing is with confidence, sometimes it could discourage other people or show their what they're insecure about, right? Because a lot of times when you do get negative responses from anybody around you, they're just projecting, whether it's fear. Hey, Madrid, maybe you shouldn't do that because that's not a great investment, but that's because that's what they believe. But you might have an actual blueprint and foundation where you go, hey, in 10 years, this is going to pay off because I'm setting this up for long-term success, not just short-term. So I definitely agree with you, bro.
Yeah, and with that same thing, and like, and have not having had done a podcast episode in so long. Last night I was having a conversation with family, my brother-in-law, my wife, and his wife, and I was like, we hear this all the time, and I don't think we really soak it up. Whereas
Yeah.
like when you're in the motherfucking deathbed, right? You got respirators all up in your shit, you take it off. You're not gonna talk about the things that you did. You're gonna think and try to talk about the things you didn't fucking do. Right?
Yep.
And I curse for unnecessarily, but I want people to understand that that's
Mhm.
what I was feeling, and like, that's why.
Here we
This
go.
time, so I'm like, yo, let's do this, bro. Like,
Here we
I
go.
want you to jump on this episode. I think it'd be great.
I like that.
And it's that like at work. I work in
Mhm.
a sales number at a calling center.
Okay.
Known as Mr. Shoot Your Shot. Like
Okay.
I'm all about shooting my shot because you just never know.
Yeah.
What's that? Take your shot.
Says take your shot. I
Yep,
resonate with
you
that.
have to,
Continue.
bro. You
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah.
100% of shots. You don't take your miss. We know this, right?
Absolutely.
But
Yep.
it's true. That's a gem within itself, right?
Hmm.
And that's like in not only trying to inspire the world and give off some be a point of information.
Yeah.
I got my daughter and my son looking at me. So it's like the
There
moment
we
that
go.
you know, apologize for the wording, but the moment I act like a bitch ass, that's what they see. And
Yeah.
it's not what I want to replicate. Like I want to replicate tenacity and like that
Hmm.
self belief and like to be honest with you, throughout my life, insecurity was huge.
Yeah.
And now as a 37-year-old man, it is when I found like I'm like, yo, fuck the world. I'ma do what I want to do. And again, that's why in hearing what you're saying when you have a conversation, could have been your boy, but whoever it was,
Yeah.
says,
Yeah.
yo, dog, I love you. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Love you to death.
And like I don't give a fuck. Yeah. What you're saying does not matter. And I hope you learn from this experience too, because there's gonna be a time where you want to go and do something and people that
Yeah.
say, oh, yo, at the end of the day, do what you want, bro. Do what you
And
want better than yourself.
what's so real, bro? And I just want to add to this to the story. Fast forward, I perform at SOBs, and that same person ends up crying, right? Like later while we're speaking. But it's because he goes, yo, you have a certain amount of self confidence and will to go after it. And I seen it from day one where even I doubted you. And this is my man's. I love him to death. Even he doubted me. And consistently, he might even hit me, Madrid, and go, in the beginning, especially, yo, Mark, I'm not feeling that song, that beat. I don't really like it. And I would just hit him with, well, you're a casual hip hop listener, and I'm not making that song for casual hip hop listeners. So I'm gonna tell you whatever you gotta say. Because some songs that I produce are for a certain kind of person, right? Don't Trip is for the casual listener. Where if you're a casual listener and a hip hop enthusiast, you might fuck with it. So I'm applying it to both. But some records is just for lyrical sparring, and if you a casual listener, you may not like it. So fast forward, that same man's grown man, he's a police officer, starts crying in front of me because he's able to see something that I just thought of start to manifest. And I think that's just a testament to whoever's out here watching this conversation between us to really believe in themselves, even if it's scary, bro. Cause I know it's fucking scary. I'm going through that shit right fucking now. Go after it. Word. Go after that shit.
Yeah, and I'm gonna commend you on the fact that like the level of sophistication that you have within your craft, the fact that you just explained what you explained regarding like you have hip hop songs that are for let's say not even mainstream media, but just like anybody could fall in love with it.
Yeah.
And then you have like almost like niche hip hop
Yeah.
where it's like you fuck with me, you fuck with this.
Exactly.
This right here, this is a pocket that selects you where
Yeah. Yeah.
fuck with.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
the fact that you even understand that, dog. How old are you, Mark?
I'm 28. I'm 28. So I got some years on me, and I had a lot of time to learn hip hop from the inside out. Where if I am able to one day go on Funk Flex, I could do that. But then if I get on the mainstream record, I could do that as well and still be myself, which is like king.
Yeah, yeah. And I know that the way you broke it down, that's why I use the word sophisticated. It's much more sophisticated than what you hear in the interviews. Where it's, oh, I got something from the streets, and I got something
Yeah, yeah.
for the radio. You just said it on a different level where you're like, yo, and you will have a following, and I'm sure you already do because
Mhm.
of your sound, bro. And like,
Yeah.
I don't even want to go ahead and say like, obviously, when I first heard you, I found somebody who like you remind me of in the industry,
Choice.
and I don't even want to do that
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
feel
Respect.
like you hear it, yes, like that. There
Hmm.
used to say that there was a little bit. I know this is gonna sound crazy, but that I sounded
Nah,
like
said it.
somebody.
Okay.
I said there was like there were certain pockets where like, yo, you sound like Hov, like, you know, like
Okay.
the things that I would say and how I would say it. And I'm like, oh, you know, that's pretty dope. Because to me, Hov is the greatest.
Yeah,
I
hell
would
yeah.
say even say like doesn't mean I rap like him. It was just like you could hear like little
Maybe the
things, and I was
cadence
like,
here and there.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's super dope. But again,
Yeah.
like I'm me. With
Absolutely.
you have a style, bro, that I haven't heard. Right?
Thank you, bro.
You can find this for people that go in a little bit of it, but
It's
it's super
chill.
dope. Why?
I think
So
no, go. You go.
go with something.
I was gonna say when it comes from anything that we do, we all draw from inspirations, including the people they say I'm inspired by. Even those people have inspirations, right? And a lot of times, not even a lot of times, every time, there's nothing new under the sun, right? When it comes to ideas. But what makes it unique is your blend of those inspirations, right? So if you hear a Kendrick, it's there. If you hear a Lil Wayne, it's there. If you hear a Jay-Z, similar to you, I really fuck with Jay-Z's cadence and confidence, especially as a New Yorker. So on certain records, I'm gonna give you that plus braggadocious without coming off too flamboyant. Because naturally, as a New Yorker, you know, we kind of have that just in our DNA type shit. Um, so whatever you hear, it's there. But what makes it me is the blend within all those inspirations.
Yeah, and the understanding, the comfortability that you have
Yeah.
with your flow. Like it's, I'll tell you, like um, in watching you for the year that we've been following each other and just seeing the different cadences and just even it almost seems like you fuck with yourself heavy to the point that like the belief is so big. You're a part of everything. Like I could almost like feel like you're almost shooting behind the camera or rapping in front of the camera.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Like
I love that, bro.
like you know what I'm saying? Like you do it all, and I respect that because I recognize it. And you know the hard work that goes into all that.
Yes.
What keeps you inspired and motivated, bro, to build
Honest,
what you're doing?
honestly, there's a space in hip hop that warrants my talents and duties. And I don't just say talents to sound arrogant, but also my duties just as a person who cares about hip hop to this level. And there needs to be a voice for the people who think like I do, who react like I do, who see the world like I do. They need somebody, and I see that as that person being me. And that inspired me every day when I have certain rhetorics that I put in songs and people go, yo, Mark, I fuck with that. Cause I was thinking it, but I didn't know how to put it into words. Oh shit, Mark, you went through depression. You was almost suicidal. I went through that. I just never told nobody. But when I listened to your music, I was able to sit in the dark room, process it, and go, you know what? Shit is gonna turn out better. Right? Because although we are going through deep depression, and that is a real thing, so real quick, fuck whoever says mental health is not real. Those people are living in uh antiquated age where they neglected those uh that fortitude of
Yeah,
mental,
100%.
right?
Like yeah, you can't show emotion. It's coming from that age of you can't show emotion. Like
Yeah,
that's why like you're raising kids that are all fucked up because it's like you can't feel how you want to feel. And I
and
realize
it's
that resonates a
crazy.
lot with me.
It's crazy, bro. And that's why one of the things that I push is another little mantra, not even mantra, another character of mine that I sometimes go into is this ugly duckling thing. And it's really to embody. So you'll hear me say it in songs, you'll hear names, title tracks like that. It's really to embody you being on your journey on your own. And sometimes the people around you will shun you during that period. And that shunning period slash depression, that's what I'm really highlighting. That depression period where you go, why nobody likes me? That's your time to really evolve and grow and develop and come out on the other side, that beautiful duckling or duck at the end. But it all depends on one person, and that's truly you. You have to look yourself in the mirror and go, yo, let me be my harshest critic. Not my biggest, but the harshest critic. And truly start to pick yourself apart to put yourself back together. So when those people do come back around who shunned you, they go, damn, Mark, you know what? That first EP is fire, bro. I don't know what I was talking about, right? But there's like magic and beauty to that. And once you could do that once, you could recreate it numerous times. And yeah, bro. I constantly want to give messages throughout this interview. And this is that's just one of them, bro. Or
Do it. My goal here too is like, if anybody hears this, and I hope a lot of people listen to it, is to lean into your music based on the messages that you're giving off to the people, because it's just like, um, I always feel like, because in the corporate world, right? I'm me. I am
yeah.
the person you see on camera, is the same person you'll see in corporate, the same, like, I can't help but being me. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes, like, right, sometimes people see like the ghetto kid that grew up in New York City and watched from like, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't help that. That's
Yeah.
that's your vision of who I am, but who like, that's saying, like, who you think I am, though, doesn't make me who I am.
Right. Absolutely.
There's better way
You're
to
right
say
about
that,
that.
but and that goes with putting people in pockets. And then if you believe what somebody's telling you, right, you become that. Like, it's such a mind fuck.
Yes.
Whereas, like, again, going right back to the thing, like, even if you don't believe in yourself, trust that you want the best for yourself,
Yeah.
right? And I'm a big believer in God, and I feel like a lot of things, like, when an idea comes to my head, I'm like, where did that come from, right? I think just on, I don't know where you stand in the spiritual world, but like, my belief is that, like, I was given this for a reason.
Yeah.
I got to do something with it, right? And then it's almost like it's an injustice. It's just being alive if not, you're not using your talents to do what you need to do, right?
No.
And it's
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like all of these gifts, especially yours to put out certain messages and theses, it's really any new set of information or ideas is coming from a higher power, regardless. I don't care what nobody says, right? Because you didn't think of this 10 seconds ago. So even your idea to develop this at your age, and have the belief, there has to be some level of higher power there securing you throughout that pathway, or else it wouldn't have developed, or everything would just tank, including finance. There, there's a level of arrogance humans have where they think it's because of me why everything's happening. No, there's also a level of luck, and luck is something you can't measure, right? Luck, timing, those things have to do with, and you can be arrogant and say yourself, or you can say it's a higher power and contribute that to something else that's just out of our control.
yeah.
So
And I
yeah,
think you have to rise to opportunities too. Like, sometimes
definitely,
it's almost like, the early bird gets the worm. Sometimes, like, if you're not available or you don't have your eyes open to see
man.
the blessings as they're coming to you and the opportunities that
Preach.
are out there, then you're just gonna fall asleep. And then the thing is, then you get some bitch asses that hate on the fact that you peep game and you're like, yo, I see the opportunity.
Type
This is
shit.
mine. You know what I'm saying? This is
Type shit.
mine. This is all mine. And that's why, like, um, I think about, the job that I have, and I think about how blessed I am to be where I'm at, and so much more that I want to achieve.
Yeah.
Um, and to see others, like, not taking advantage of the opportunities that you're given, right? The
Hmm.
entitlement and things like that. Um, Based on the way you handle yourself and your music and your business, I don't see any entitlement. But what I do see is, like, you're
Yeah.
coming to get something that belongs to you, and you're like, you're relentless at it.
I'm not wavering. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Right. I've had growing up, I had a couple near death experiences, and those really shaped my outlook now where I know what's rightfully mine, but I'm not entitled. Right. So I do understand people in positions of power, they have preferences. And everybody, no matter what you say, shit is subjective. People have favorites, whatever, right? And if an opportunity isn't given to me, it no matter how hard I work, doesn't mean I'm supposed to get it just because of my hard work, right? Because again, timing, that luck thing that we spoke of, those things matter. If somebody goes, yo, you know what? I actually like Madrid's personality. I want to give him an opportunity. It may not be the output that did it. It's just your likeness that then gave you the opportunity, right? So there's definitely no entitlement. And those close calls definitely helped assist that POV.
Can you talk about that a little bit? Like just because you brought it up, non-verbal, I just want to do like the
Yeah. I haven't even touched on this in the music, but I'll give it to you, right? Uh Fuck it, why not? I don't think I ever spoke about this really. But growing up, I've experienced shootouts, near stabbing, like all of the chaos that you hear, right? So those are all close calls. But the main thing is, uh, early in my teens, I got hit by a car and broke my jaw, my legs, like my limbs, everything. Uh, and completely lost all function, right? Like that I have now, which I'm grateful for, absolutely. Ripped the side of my head, all skin, flabbing, everything. Had to get surgery on that. So I'm even glad that it's no longer like two-tone or three-tone like it was. Uh, but that right there, where I got hit, woke up, was so many feet in the air, fainted again, woke back up in the windshield of somebody's car. Family pushed me out. I fall on the ground. It's just so much that happened where I thought I wouldn't be here today. And that whole thing is something nobody could really relate to. I don't care if you had a close call, your close call is unique to you. And this one was unique to me. And it just gave me a level of, I don't give a fuck, Madrid, but also a level of care. The people I care about, I deeply care about. And once you fuck up that care, I no longer care about you. And it's not because I didn't care before that. It's because I cared so deeply. Now I'm hurt, really, that you broke our trust and bond, so I can't be around you. But then that care also gets applied to hip hop. I truly do care about it, right? To a certain degree because of that experience where I maybe wouldn't have been able to be here. Um, so it's something I haven't spoke to in the music, but it's why I go so hard as well. Because I probably wouldn't have been here. Or if I was, because of a higher power, I would have been here in worse shape, like walking with a limp or some sort of disformity. Um, so yeah,
how
bro.
long when that happened to you?
I had to be fucking 11, 12, 12, 11 to 13 in that range, probably 100 pounds soaking wet. And it's something that I think about because I had all my homies with me, and as kids, they all looked at me like they seen a ghost. Because like I said, my head is split. All my they're crying. They're then running to tell my family because we're on a whole different part of the Bronx. My mom meets me in the hospital. She faints once she sees me.
What were you doing though? What were you out doing? Just hanging out?
It was a summer day, and everybody was at a function. And one of my boys rode me on his bike. I was on the pegs, and he rode me on his bike, and a car just ran a red light. Just ran a red light, probably thinking they could just bust it and not get caught. And as we got the light, they ran, hit us. The whole thing just takes place right after that. Yeah. Oh yeah. But I can speak about it now. Word.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like, so two things. Like, one thing that automatically made me think about was because you spoke about the what's the name of the album? Yeah, Richard Back Trying. One of the songs he talks about like, nah, I know I'm here for a real reason because he got hit like I got hit, but he ain't fucking breathing.
Yeah.
So just that part, like, I love hip hop, bro. Hip hop is my
I could tell you just pulled that straight out of your brain.
yeah.
Like
But this like that the album resonates with me a lot. Like
yeah.
I think like 13, 14 when the album came out, and I was sure my boy bought it. I was broke, single mom, all that stuff. Sometime right? I had a burner. This is when we had like actual CDs and computers and all that. But yeah, like that's what I thought about. I'm like, you understand that, and not only enjoy like you understand it back then, you understand it now, and that's why you go as hard as you go, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think um either you take that as a blessing in disguise, meaning that like you got you took a hard hit that could
Yeah,
have
bro.
broken anybody. Like you could have. There's so many different things how it could have panned out, and it panned out this way, and you're not wasting the blessing of still being here. So that's one thing. The other thing too is like you don't value life. I feel like we do. Everybody says to do like if life is teaching and all that stuff. It's
Mhm.
not until you fall on a hard time and make it through that you're like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You feel like you're a motherfucking warrior. And it's
Yeah.
like, all right, you look at life very differently. I got diagnosed with lupus when I was 30 years old, 7 years
Oh
ago.
shit.
Right? I had what was it? Uh, Newborn baby boy. I wasn't able to pick him up, like just a lot of crazy shit. And like
Yeah, bro.
back then, like doing research and all this stuff, like you said, like the average life expectancy is like I think it was like 3 to 5 years. So I'm already on the wave of life. I'm out of here in a
Yeah.
couple years. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
thank God I don't have a serious I don't have serious flare ups like where like organs shut down stuff like that. But I look at life much different
Mhm.
because I'm like, I want to cherish every moment. And we're human, but this is
Sure.
like a big part of like, this is why I need to go hard. Cause like, secretly, and I said this in one of the episodes, but the reason I want to do the podcast is because for us, for minorities, I want to be that plug of information, right? We
Mhm.
don't get past the plug just off the rip, right?
Yeah.
Because of how we look, how we speak, especially us New Yorkers, we talk our shit and
1000%.
we'll let you know in a minute where we're from, but block
Yeah.
over, you know what I'm saying? And like the app and all that stuff. Why have you chosen to go the route of putting that into your music, or it just hasn't gotten there because of inspiration, like it hasn't with something you want to apply?
Now it's fucking traumatic. It's really the most traumatic thing I ever went through, and there's a level of still PTSD if I'm crossing the street. Um, Even at my age now, right? 15 years, 13 years later, it's still something that I deal with every day. So it's hard to even speak about it. Um, because there is a level of avoidance, escapism. But one day I hope I'm able to get that out of me, so I can speak to it with clarity and understanding and be as detailed and descriptive as if somebody was there, who wasn't, you know?
Yeah.
But that takes
Yeah.
that it definitely takes time.
Yeah, I appreciate you being vulnerable and then sharing that, man, because I know it's not easiest, like, and all walks of life, like, there's a lot of traumas that we walk with every day, and people just see the smile, but is like
Yeah,
the
bro.
agony and all that stuff that we go through, like, even at work, people are like, "Are you good?" Like, sometimes I don't even notice. I'm so used to, like, smoking with pain. Right.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I'm blessed, bro. Like, trust me, like, and when I say blessed, I don't mean like I'm none of the materialistic things. I'm just
Yeah.
blessed with being able to live life. And I'm
Yeah.
happy for the opportunity to have the honor to get up and go to work. Like that right there to me makes my day.
It's everything,
Look at
man.
my wife, like is every my kids, like
Yeah.
simple things, the simple shit in life to me is everything. So just having that, but at the same time, like people noticing, like, hey, you look like you're in pain. I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to even give that off. Like,
Display that.
because
Yeah.
yeah, because it's like, again, what you were talking about as far as mental health, the way I grew up, the way we grew up in New York is really grungy, and they're like,
Mhm.
yo, you're not supposed to show emotion,
Yeah.
especially on the street level where it's like you get tested every day, anything from regular day to day into gang culture to this, that, like all that stuff. It trains
Yeah.
you to be a certain way, even when you don't want to be. And
Mm-hmm.
that right there is as real as it gets. One thing I'll say too is like going back to what we were talking about when you had mentioned something about a friend and
Yeah.
expressing hurt. That's
Yeah.
something that Mark, like at 37 years old, I finally got to a point where I'm like, yeah, that hurt me. And
Here we
you
go.
work with pause, big
Paula.
pause. Oh, but like, yeah, like I'm talking about an emotional level. Like I, yeah, like in the mental health aspect of it, where I would feel like I'm able to go ahead and say like, yo, that was hurtful. when
Yeah.
I'm feeling like I'm being bitched, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and you saying like mental health is a real thing. Like if you don't believe on that, then that's I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't know what kind of
Don't.
heart you have.
Yeah.
Unless like the shit is as real as it gets, and it's gonna become realer and realer. We just
Mm-hmm.
also have to not fall on like become the victims of our own emotions, right?
Yeah.
Because life is tough as it is, and you have to have that tenacity and stuff like that. So, this was a big conversation, bro. As much like we touched on a couple of topics, but
Love, bro.
and summing everything up.
Yeah.
So, I want you to go through it real quick. So,
Mm-hmm.
you have a couple projects already that have launched off.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what those are? How many projects have you already dropped? So, we're kind of watching can look into that, like
Yeah. Yeah.
so mixtape albums, like
I would say anybody that really want to dig in the crates. I know you, Madrid, you're familiar with that saying, but anybody that want to dig in the crates digitally, I have about 13 EPs and projects on SoundCloud alone. That's when I first started in like 2009. That is on there. But beyond that, more projects that's refined. Because to me, that was my proving grounds. That was me trying stuff. That was me clearly inspired by certain people, really just getting the wrinkles out. Here, that's more refined. Go on my Spotify, Apple Music. Please go on my Bandcamp. Please, please, again, please go on my Bandcamp. Support me directly via my Bandcamp. Right there, you can find a project that I call Journal Entries. That is more interpersonal stuff, still lyric driven and song structure, but there's a lot of in-depth personal experiences within that project. And also, last but not least, Demographic 2, which kicked all of this shit off. I'm just super excited about that project because without that one, it wouldn't have showed everybody my versatility nor my ability. And I wouldn't be speaking to Madrid right here, right now, because songs like Sandbox featuring Mickey Sachs and Problematic and Head Crack, which is about me getting fired, all of those great, fantastic songs is what propelled me.
bananas,
There we go, bro.
bananas, bananas.
Yeah, yeah, I hear him.
I get hooked on like I'm not good at remembering any lyrics. Horrible at that. Like I'll give you
Yeah.
lyrics. Even mine, I would have a hard time. But
Mm,
just the flow, like the delivery,
yeah.
the beat, the
Mhm.
video. This is the one that you're in the staircase, right?
No, you're talking about Platform 333 with Mickey Fax, I think.
This
Maybe.
one is like I think you're on a roof or something.
Oh, yeah, on the roof. Yes, yes.
Yeah, right.
And the
Exactly,
staircase is
right.
behind me. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes,
There.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
see, I didn't fuck it up. I
I
didn't
was
fuck it
good,
up. I
bro.
didn't fuck it up.
You're right.
But yeah, that whole shit, and then the way you dressed, it's like,
Yeah.
yo, Mark, you're a sophisticated hip hop artist slash just artist overall, man, and don't pat yourself on the back. Besides, just I love what you're doing. I love the styles. It's real. And the fact that you know exactly what you want, what you're going for, and you're not taking no answer, no for nothing, none of that shit. You just I'm going for mine. So that's very respectful, man.
At all. And I think we both going for ours, bro. And we gonna go after this shit. We gonna get it by all means necessary. I appreciate the words, but I also want to just ping pong that shit back to you. Because if I didn't feel the same way, I wouldn't be on this platform with you. I swear to God.
Respect,
Hell yeah.
respect, Mike. And question
Swear
for
to
you, and I
God.
know the word says everything. Demographic too. Why did you pick that title? And
Yeah.
one thing, explain the artwork behind you too, because this is what the album cover would be, right here.
It is, yeah, yeah. In actuality, one of my first EPs, actually my second, was called Demographic. And it was me just really representing where I came from. It is spelled the way it's spelled because it's a bunch of demos that I then take and flush out a bit, right? Not completely flushed out, so there's still rough edges. I remember seeing an interview with RZA where he said, purposely, I leave some of the Wu-Tang songs gritty and unfinished because I want people to feel the texture. So I took that whole concept, applied it to Demographic EP back then. I remember being broke in a terrible position, bro. I was way younger, but I was hungry as hell. Fast forward, I get fired. I'm broke again. I'm hungry as ever. I went through stages of rapping my ass off, stopping because life, rapping my ass off, stopping. This time I told myself, Mark, you're going to reinvent yourself. You're going to go on Instagram. You're going to get off SoundCloud. You're going to show yourself visually, but you're going to be as hungry as ever. But this time, once you start rapping again, you're not going to stop, bro. And if you stop, bro, that's it. So don't stop. And there you have it. So I just found myself in the same mentality and mindset. And I said, this is no better title to name this phase in my life than demographic two. And then yeah, hell yeah.
I love it. And then the artwork there, can you give in a little bit about it, like as I'm seeing it?
Yeah, so the first project was more of a MTA-esque landscape and drawing of the New York City landscape. Uh but this one more so targets where I am, right? Where I was born and bred, where hip hop derived from. And I'm not saying that to sound arrogant either, but hip hop did derive here and this is where I am. And one of my taglines that I used growing up from the very, very beginning of me rapping was, I'm the prince of my borough. My life is paradise. I can't see myself without a paralyzed or paralyzed. I'm living life. And that prince developed to, I'm the king of my borough. Then after that, it developed to, I'm the king of my state. And I'm just constantly evolving that tagline. So at the bottom, you'll see, I'm the king of my borough. My life is paradise. Who knows what I make that into next, maybe state. But it's something where I'm just representing where I'm from and I'm showing the hunger that's still in the Bronx. Because a lot of people like to say New York rappers sound like Atlanta and New York rappers sound like blah, blah, blah. Well, not this nigga here. This nigga sound like himself. He sound original. And I'm here to represent for the town.
Yeah, man, fact. That's as real as
Hell
it
yeah.
gets.
That's
At
as
the
real as
same
it good,
time,
bro.
too, to just shed light on it too, like something being a hip hop artist too, like support your artists. Like
There we go.
once you get everybody where you could find it, like Spotify. I already have used all Spotify. I'm subscribed, but like support artists because you'll have artists like this, and you're true to your style and what you love to do. You'll have other artists out there that aren't getting spins or whatever you want to say, and they end up making music that's not them
Yes.
because they're chasing the clock, right?
Yes.
And
Agree.
everybody's trying to make a living and so on, but
Hmm.
to be organically real and just keep it keep it New York in a sense, but at the same time
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because you could be the label for what New York rap sounds like when you make it big, bro, or
Yeah.
whatever it is that whatever level of success you're trying to obtain. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
they could be like, "Oh, Mark is what hip hop is in New York now."
If you don't mind,
They-
can I say one thing for
Yeah,
the audience?
there's
If y'all fuck with this interview, if y'all fuck with me, if y'all fuck with how I'm evolving, please support me direct. Because like what Madrid is saying, if you don't support artists, not saying this would be my circumstance, but artists do conform to make money because they love music so much. I don't ever want to be put in that position. And the power truly is in the consumer, aka you. If you're able to support me, I'm able to stay true to myself. Why? Because number one, I'm not greedy. I'm not looking to make the most money out of rap. I'm not, I'm looking just to sustain my life. And that is by way of committee. Everybody support what you truly love. And I'm able to make stuff only from the heart and nothing
yeah,
else. And
yep,
that's it. So please support the artists you fucking love. It truly does mean something,
yeah, 100%.
you know? And buy directly from the artist. Don't if you want to stream, that's great because it's convenient. But we don't make money from streams in reality. But if you go to Bandcamp, you buy a vinyl in the future, if you buy a poster, shit, if you buy an ashtray, if I'm selling that, those are things that really do impact the bottom line and allow the creative to continue to be creative. So that's all I got. Word. That's all I got.
Beautiful,
But
man, beautiful. I love it.
yeah,
I love it. I do want to share with the people, and I'll probably see if I can And if it fucks it up, then I'll just edit it out. But I do want to share, or I'll give you the option, bro. Like I want to end this podcast with playing one of your videos, so that you can see it. And then if
Okay.
it's up to you if you want to rock along with it, or you just want to let it rock, however you want to rock out. But
Yeah.
what song would you like me to play for the people to just see your talent and see what you got going on and how dope your music is?
We had the conversation earlier about casuals and the more secular type of audiences. So I feel like we should play Don't Trip featuring Nick Caution, my newest single that came out June 22nd.
Hey,
Uh, let's
let's see.
let's
Hopefully
find it.
this works. I really appreciate if this junk works. And
Let's see.
before we dropped off, just in case, sometimes we vibe a little quicker. I
Mhm.
appreciate you jumping on this episode, man. For real, from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. The fact that I know you kind of wanted to move in a different direction, and you heard me out here. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to. That's who I am. As I'm a sales person at heart, so I will always like. I always shoot my shot. And with you, I shot my shot because you had a different idea of how you wanted to move,
Indeed.
and I was like,
Indeed.
this is my 2 cents. Let me just say my piece
Mhm.
respectfully. Whatever you decide to do from there, I respect that. I guess I'll let you
Yeah.
know. And thank you for allowing me to let you know how I felt about it, and for you to be like, you know what, fuck it, let's do this. And I'm
And I'll
glad.
tell you what, brother, I have a background in sales and management from telecommunications, finance, and also HVAC. So I notice you using persuasive language a bit, and maybe that's natural for you, and I just respected it. So that shit just resonated and connected. Uh,
Yeah,
so
I
yeah,
can't
bro,
help
I
it.
see you. I see you,
I
bro.
can't help it, bro. I can't help it. I can't. And it's funny enough, I'm giving that off to my kids because we just got back from vacation, and my
Yeah.
owner was haggling with people, and we went to the Bahamas, and we were trying to get on like one of those like tour boats,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, all right, well, how much, whatever. Like, I'm from the hood, bro. Like, I'm always gonna want to. I can have $1 million in my pocket and act like I got $10. So I'm like, what's up? And my brother's like, oh, it's his birthday. You can't do any better. I'm like, a little 12. Like she's about to be 12, and I'm like, yo.
It's the way of life, bro.
And it's a good way to end it too. Like the kids are watching, people are watching. People are looking
Yeah.
always to find something that inspires them. That's why I think it's so powerful to have you on the pod today. For people to see your journey, how you stay motivated, how you're a businessman. And again, the word I have for you is this is sophistication that you have, bro. So much luck to you. I wish you nothing but the best.